Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lilbumblebear's Let's Play. I'm Chris and we're back with more Eureka Multimedia. This is exploring our solar system. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below sharing your thoughts, and of course subscribe for more nostalgic gaming. Check out the playlist in the description box to see all the other Eureka games on this channel. I have a Twitter and Instagram you can follow, a streaming channel, and a Discord server with the kindest community on the internet. So use the invite link in the description box and come say hi. Alright, let's learn about the solar system.
Alien. An alien is a creature from a different planet. Nobody knows for certain if aliens exist, but many people like to believe that they do. Some people believe that there are aliens living on Earth. We make many movies and write many books about what we think aliens may be like. UFO. UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Object. It's an object or light in the sky that is unknown and unexplained. Many people claim to have seen UFOs. If real UFOs were seen, we would not know what they were. Rocket. A rocket is a type of engine that sends ships into space. It burns fuel rapidly. Some rockets are small, like the ones used for firecrackers. It needs a lot of fuel to power things like spacecraft. Flag. There are many different flag designs. A nation's flag is very important. It represents its people. The astronauts placed the United States flag on the moon to represent their country and its people. Telescope. A telescope is an instrument used to make distant objects appear closer. It has a magnifying lens. Researchers use telescopes to study the stars and planets. Telescopes have been launched into space to get even closer pictures of distant planets. They vary greatly in size, and the first telescope was invented in 1609 by an Italian named Galileo. Mercury. Mercury is approximately 58 million kilometers from the Sun. It's nearest the Sun. It's a hot, dry, airless ball of rock. The name Mercury means messenger of the gods. The surface of Mercury is covered with craters and has no atmosphere. Venus. Venus is about 108 million kilometers from the Sun. It's the hottest planet and spins in the opposite direction to all the other planets. It's covered with a thick cloud containing drops of sulfuric acid that burn anything they touch. The pressure on the surface of Venus is 90 times more than that of Earth, so a spacecraft would be crushed if it tried to land. Venus was named after the Roman goddess of love. Earth. We live on the planet Earth. Earth is approximately 150 million kilometers from the Sun. It takes the Earth 365 days to circle the Sun. Earth is made from rock, with 2/3 covered by water. Water and oxygen are necessary for maintaining life. The Earth has one moon. Mars. Mars is approximately 228 million kilometers from the Sun. Mars is a small, rocky, red planet. It's dusty and dry. It has canyons and extinct volcanoes. The dust storms on Mars can become so huge they cover the whole planet. Mars has two small moons called Phobos and Deimos. Mars is half the size of Earth, and its name comes from the Roman god of war. Jupiter. Jupiter is about 778 million kilometers from the Sun. It's the largest planet, and its name belonged to the Roman king of the gods. It's 30 times bigger than Mercury. It's a huge ball of liquid covered with gases. The gases on Jupiter are pressed down with such force that they become liquid, held in by gravity. Jupiter has 16 moons and appears to have a huge red spot when it's observed. Saturn. Saturn is approximately 1.5 billion kilometers from the Sun. Saturn is a liquid planet with a hard inside core. Because it's so far from the Sun, it's very cold. Saturn is surrounded by rings of small ice particles. The planet's name comes from the Roman god of agriculture. Uranus. Uranus is around 2.9 billion kilometers from the Sun. When astronomers first spotted Uranus, they thought it was a comet because it spins on its side. Later, they determined it was a planet. They began exploring the area to see if they could find more planets. Uranus has 15 moons and is named after the Roman god of heaven. It's small and greenish. Neptune. Neptune is about 4.5 billion kilometers from the Sun. It takes Neptune 165 years to orbit the Sun. It's a smaller planet with large violent storms. The largest storm is called the Great Dark Spot. It was discovered in 1847 and has 8 moons. The planet was named after the Roman god of the sea. Pluto. Pluto is approximately 6 billion kilometers from the Sun. This is the planet furthest from the Sun. Its moon, Charon, follows it exactly, so it is always in the same place in relation to Pluto. It takes sunlight 5.5 hours to reach Pluto. Named after the Roman god of the underworld, this planet was discovered in 1930. Earth's moon. The moon is closer to the Earth than any planet. It circles the Earth facing us. Its backside cannot be seen from anywhere on Earth. The moon goes around the Earth every 29.5 days and has no air or water. Only 12 men have ever walked on the moon's surface. Sun. The Sun is the source of life for Earthlings. The Sun is the center of the planets. It's a ball of burning gases. It sends out light and heat in every direction. It is 100 times bigger than the Earth and is hotter than anything else. Spacewalk. Walking in space is not easy because there is no gravity outside of the Earth's gravitational field. Astronauts must wear bulky, heavy spacesuits that make it difficult to move. They use a special unit called a manned maneuvering unit to help them move around. Moon rover. A moon rover is a type of vehicle that looks like a jeep. It's used on the moon. It's fueled by batteries instead of petrol. It falls for transporting it to and from the moon and has been used to collect samples from the moon. It has a camera and radio on board and can travel a little over 13 kilometers per hour. Oxygen tank. There is no oxygen in space. Astronauts must take oxygen tanks which can hold around a 6-hour supply with them into space. Spaceships must carry a supply of oxygen, which can also help to propel rockets. Space dog, Laika. Animals are used in space by scientists to conduct research. Because space has no gravity, an animal might develop differently. Because dogs and monkeys are easy to train, they were used to help pave the way for mankind to travel into space. The first animal was put into space in 1957. Space food. Most of the food on the spaceship has to be freeze-dried. It is then put into packets or tubes for easy storage. Water is injected into the packet, mixed around, then squeezed into the astronaut's mouth. Gloves. Gloves are just one of the necessary coverings that an astronaut must wear in space. They are made to protect and shield hands from harmful ultraviolet rays. The gloves are made of layers, including nylon and Teflon. Astronauts. Astronauts are trained to travel in spaceships. They go through a special program to learn how to be part of the team that goes in each spacecraft. Each astronaut has different jobs to do. Astronauts can spend months at a time in space. They have to be in good physical shape and learn how to move without gravity. Satellite. A man-made satellite is an object that circles planets. Satellites collect information from space and relay it back to Earth. They collect sunlight and change it into the electricity that it needs to operate. One day, the Earth may be receiving electricity from space for home use. Satellites are made on Earth, then sent into space. The first one was launched in 1957. Spacecraft. A spacecraft is the vehicle that is flown into space beyond Earth's atmosphere. They are used to study planets, moons, and suns in the galaxy. Many scientific experiments are done in the spacecraft as they make the trips into outer space. They carry astronauts as well as equipment and have powerful rockets. Spacecraft also send important images and information back to Earth. Space helmet. Astronauts in space wear a space helmet. The helmet and its dark visor help to keep out the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. There are small microphones and headphones inside the space helmet. This lets the astronauts talk to each other and to talk to the control center on Earth. Alien. An alien is a creature from a different planet. I'm needed to help propel rockets. I'm done without gravity. I am a planet. I'm trained to perform special duties. I circled the Earth. I keep sunshine off hands. Nobody knows for certain how I look. Alien. An alien is a creature from a different planet. Nobody knows for certain if aliens exist. Read along with me.
Goodbye.
Read along with me. Hi kids. Wouldn't it be thrilling to travel into outer space? Maybe we cannot board the space shuttle this century, but maybe in the next century. To prepare for the future, use this activity book and use your imagination. The cutout and colouring pages will help you. The pages tell you about the first man on the moon, the space station Mir, and much more. You can read along with me to learn about space exploration and to learn new words. Then after reading the pages, use your crayons and markers and your scissors. Have fun. We'll start with page 1. When we finish a page, click on the arrow to go to the next page. I'll tell you the page number. Are you ready? Here we go. Page 1. Exploring our solar system. Activity and colouring book.
Pages 2 and 3. Space Explorers. Count the planets. How many can you find?
Page 4. Planet facts. Mercury. Diameter, approximately 5,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 58 million kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 88 days. Mercury has no moons. Venus. Diameter, approximately 12,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 108 million kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 225 days. Venus has no moons. Earth. Diameter, approximately 12,750 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 150 million kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 1 year or 365 days. Earth has 1 moon. Mars. Diameter, approximately 6,500 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 228 million kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 687 days. Mars has 2 moons. Jupiter. Diameter, approximately 143,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 778 million kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, about 12 years. Jupiter has 16 moons. Saturn. Diameter, approximately 121,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 1.5 billion kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 29.5 years. Saturn has 24 moons. Uranus. Diameter, approximately 51,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 2.9 billion kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 84 years. Uranus has 15 moons. Neptune. Diameter, approximately 49,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 4.5 billion kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 165 years. Neptune has 8 moons. Pluto. Diameter, approximately 3,000 kilometres. Distance from the Sun, approximately 6 billion kilometres. Time it takes to go around the Sun, 247.7 years. Pluto has 1 moon. Page 5. Telescopes. The stars, planets and moon have always been fun to study. About 450 years ago, a man named Copernicus explained how the planets moved around the Sun. Before that, people thought that the world was the centre of the universe. Galileo Galilei invented the first telescope in 1609. Since then, telescopes are stronger and better. In 1930, Clyde Tombaugh looked through a telescope and discovered the 9th planet from the Sun, Pluto. Scientists use huge, powerful telescopes to study outer space. Telescopes use mirrors to magnify objects. They work best if they are away from city lights, on high ground with clean air. One of the largest radio telescopes is in Puerto Rico. It gathers radio waves given off by distant bodies. The Hubble Space Telescope is the largest. It is already in outer space. Where would you place a telescope? Page 6. Outer Space Firsts. October the 4th, 1957. Soviet Union launches the first satellite, Sputnik 1. November 1957. Sputnik 2 carries the dog Laika into space. January the 31st, 1958. The first successful US satellite sends Explorer 1 into orbit. January the 31st, 1961. The United States makes a suborbital flight with Ham the chimp on board. April the 12th, 1961. Yuri Gagarin becomes the first human to go into space and orbit the Earth. May the 5th, 1961. Alan Shepard becomes the first American in space on a suborbital flight. February the 20th, 1962. John Glenn becomes the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. June the 16th, 1963. First woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova of the Soviet Union. March the 18th, 1965. Alexei Leonov makes the first spacewalk from Voskhod 2. March the 23rd, 1965. Astronauts Grissom and Young participate in the first United States Gemini flight. June the 3rd, 1965. Ed White made the first American spacewalk and was the first to use a propulsion unit to move around in space. June the 3rd, 1966. Stefford and White take a 2-hour spacewalk. January the 27th, 1967. Launchpad tragedy kills 3 astronauts, Grissom, White and Chaffee. July the 16th to the 24th, 1969. Apollo 11 mission lands on the Moon and Neil Armstrong becomes the first human to set foot on the Moon. November 14th to the 24th, 1969. Second landing of men on the Moon. January the 31st, 1971. Third lunar landing. Shepard hits 2 golf balls. Page 7. July the 26th, 1971. First use of lunar rover. April the 16th, 1972. Apollo 16 launched to the Moon. December the 7th, 1972. Last of 6 Apollo missions to the Moon begins. May the 14th, 1973. Skylab is launched and on May the 25th the crew repairs the damaged station. July the 17th to the 18th, 1975. US Apollo and Soviet Soyuz spacecraft make history by linking up in space. 1975. 2 US Viking probes search for life on Mars. 1978. Pluto's moon, Charon, is discovered. 1979. Voyager 1 begins its probe of Jupiter. April the 12th, 1981. The US Space Shuttle Columbia makes its maiden flight into space. November the 28th, 1983. Spacelab is launched in a Space Shuttle flight. February the 7th, 1984. Bruce McCandless test flies the manned maneuvering unit during a spacewalk outside the Space Shuttle. January the 28th, 1986. Space Shuttle Challenger explodes, killing all 7 on board. The US space program is put on hold. March the 13th, 1986. Mir Soviet Space Station is established. September the 29th, 1988. US Space Shuttle program is restored with the launch of Discovery. November the 15th, 1988. The Soviet Space Shuttle Buran makes its first flight into space. October the 18th, 1989. launched Galileo probe to Jupiter. April the 24th, 1990, Hubble Space Telescope, HST, was launched. May the 7th, 1992, first flight of Space Shuttle Endeavour. December the 2nd, 1993, crew serviced and repaired Hubble Space Telescope. Today, astronauts still live in the Mir space station. The US space station is under construction. Page 8. Help Jennifer go to the moon. Page 9. Kudryavka and Ham. The first living creatures into space were not humans, they were animals. Kudryavka, a Laika dog, was the first animal to go outside Earth's atmosphere. No one knew what would happen, so this animal was used as a test. The Soviet Union was the country that first sent a living creature into space. Most people call the dog Laika instead of Kudryavka. Laika went into space in Sputnik 2 on November the 2nd, 1957. The United States tried a different animal. The scientists chose a squirrel chimpanzee named Ham. He was sent into outer space on the January the 31st in 1961. Ham completed his orbits and returned to Earth. However, he landed about 190 kilometers from where he was supposed to splash down in the ocean. So he had to bob around in his space capsule until he was found. He was safely rescued, and he was famous for the rest of his life. Page 10. Astronaut. Astronaut means star sailor. Astronauts in the United States study at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. The center is part of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. Some of the people chosen to study at the center will be chosen to go into outer space. They are all college graduates who are in excellent health. Many of them are in the Air Force. They take classes, exercise, and practice in flight simulators. A simulator works like a spacecraft but never leaves Earth. Each astronaut has special jobs to do while on the space mission. So a crew of astronauts are chosen who can work well together. Teamwork is very, very important. By the end of 1994, 322 people had flown in outer space. However, only 12, all Americans, have walked on the moon. Someday, many people will live in space stations. Would you like to go to outer space? Page 11. An astronaut dressed to go. Page 12. 12 men who walked on the moon. Apollo Saturn 11, July 16th to the 24th, 1969. Michael Collins, pilot. Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin. Aldrin left the American flag and a plaque that read, "We came in peace for all mankind." Neil Armstrong broadcast, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Apollo Saturn 12, November the 14th to the 24th, 1969. Richard Gordon Jr., pilot. Charles Conrad Jr. and Alan Bean. Apollo Saturn 13, April the 11th to the 17th, 1970. Aborted, returned to Earth. Apollo Saturn 14, January the 31st to February the 9th, 1971. Stuart Rooser, pilot. Alan Shepard Jr. and Edgar Mitchell. Shepard hit 2 golf balls on the moon. Apollo Saturn 15, July the 26th to August 7th, 1971. Alfred Worden, pilot. David Scott and James Irvin. First used Lunar Roving Vehicle, or LRV. Maximum speed 14 kilometers per hour. Apollo Saturn 16, April the 16th to the 27th, 1972. Thomas Mattingly II, pilot. John Young and Charles Duke Jr. Apollo Saturn 17, December the 7th to the 19th, 1972. Ronald Evans, pilot. Eugene Cernan, Harrison Schmitt. Both Eugene and Harrison spent 75 hours on the moon. Page 13, Walking in Space. Page 14, Mir. Mir is a Russian word meaning peace. Mir is the name of a modular space station. Russia launched Mir on February the 20th, 1986. It circles Earth 300 to 400 kilometres above us. Mir has 4 parts: the docking compartment, the working area, the living space and the propulsion department. Since 1986, scientific modules have been attached to the work area so that more experiments could be conducted. Mir can be seen from Earth. Sometimes, because gravity pulls it down, it needs to start a rocket engine to move higher, further away from the Earth. Would you like to visit Mir? Some people have paid to travel and visit Mir. The first visitor was a Japanese journalist. His name was Toyohiro Akiyama. He stayed in Mir for a week in December 1990. I wonder how much it cost. Page 15. Space Station. Design your personal space station. Page 16. The Hubble Telescope. The Hubble Telescope was launched in April 1990, but it was soon known that it needed repairs. Its pictures were a little fuzzy. The 244 centimetre primary mirror had a tiny mistake in its curve. In December 1993, astronauts went to the Hubble telescope to fix it. They replaced some parts and installed a new camera. Since then, it has taken perfectly clear pictures. It has sent important information back to Earth. The Hubble telescope will stay about 483 kilometres above Earth until about the year 2005. On Earth, it weighed over 10 tons, but in space, weight is not the same as on Earth. The telescope is powered by solar or sun energy. It is 50 times more powerful than telescopes we use on Earth. The Hubble telescope will help scientists understand our universe and how it began. Do you know who Hubble was? The telescope was named after an astronomer named Edwin Hubble. He proved that the universe is still expanding. The Hubble telescope gives measurements of space bodies trillions of light years away. Page 17. Comets, meteoroids and asteroids. Comets. Comets orbit the Sun in an elongated oval pattern. A comet has 3 parts: a nucleus surrounded by a misty envelope called a coma. The coma extends into a stream called the tail. The yellow part of the tail is the dust. The blue part is gas. The tail goes in the direction away from the Sun. In 1994, Jupiter was hit by an exploding comet. Some scientists believe that a comet or asteroid hit Earth and caused the changes that made dinosaurs disappear. Meteoroids. Meteoroids are small rocks that travel through space. Many of them are remnants of comets. When they enter Earth's atmosphere, they burn up. While they are burning, they show up as beautiful streaks of night light called meteors. If part of a meteor lands on Earth, it's called a meteorite. Asteroids. Asteroids are planetoids because they have an orbit pattern. They are small, odd-shaped rock formations. About 40,000 asteroids orbit between Mars and Jupiter. Together, they are called the asteroid belt. The 3 largest asteroids are Pallas, Ceres, and Vesta. They are much smaller than our Moon. Some scientists think that the asteroids may have been a small planet that exploded. Asteroids that pass close to the Earth are called Earth grazers. Page 18. UFOs, unidentified flying objects. A survey reported that 15 million Americans claim to have seen unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. Pilots, astronauts and other scientists have seen UFOs. Sometimes UFOs are found to be kites or balloons. Sometimes they are secret aircraft being tested in the night hours. But sometimes there is no explanation, so the flying object remains unidentified. During the month of July is when most UFOs are reported, and most sightings are at night. Some UFOs have interfered with the compasses in nearby aeroplanes. Do you believe there is life on other planets or in other galaxies? If so, it would take a spacecraft a long time to get to Earth. How would you greet aliens in a spaceship? Page 19. My outer space adventure. In the future, I may be able to travel into space beyond the Earth. If I have this chance, I will or will not go. Explain your decision. If I take a trip at page 20, a picture of my space adventure.
Page 21. Extraterrestrials. Former American President Ronald Reagan said, "We often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world."
Page 22. Movie box. Activity. Movie box. Materials needed. Cardboard about 35 centimetres wide and 25 centimetres high. Roll of white paper about 23 centimetres high. Construction paper, scissors and glue. How to do it. Cut slits on two sides of the box as shown. Paint pictures to tell your story. Glue the pictures in the proper sequence onto the roll of paper. Slide the roll of paper through the slits. Show your movie.
Page 23 for more information. Here are some places in Australia and New Zealand that you can contact by writing or via the internet to find out more about venturing into space. When writing, be sure to state what kind of information you would like. Include your full name and address so they can write back to you.
Back to the main menu. It's game time. Goodbye. It's game time. Games menu.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed exploring the solar system. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below which activity was your favorite. And of course, subscribe for more nostalgic gaming. Remember, you are special and loved, you are never alone, you're always welcome to come back and hang out anytime. Until the next video, God bless, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.